Alright, today I am dropping the updated Bingo, Wildfire, and Doombringer guide. There is a total of 6 builds in this video. We're going to sort of make everything quick and concise, and I also have a spreadsheet that is in the description and pinned in the comments where you'll be able to quickly reference everything I use in these builds. I also have a website coming soon. It's been pushed and delayed a little bit more than I would like to, but that is coming as well. But for now, you've got the spreadsheet and you've got this video. 6 builds. We've got the Renegade PVE Bingo, the Savior Set Bingo, and Wildfire. And then last but not least, we also have the Doombringer PvP and the Doombringer PvE. Now, I do want to quickly mention something about Doombringer PvP. It is not near as good as the Wildfire and Bingo, but it is an option. The Doombringer, however, is fantastic in PvE still. So I can't wait to show you that section of the video. To start off with, we're going to jump into the PvP Bingo and Wildfire. Now, this is a little bit different to Doomris's version. I prefer to spec into Weak Spot, as I prefer buffing the Sniper. I know that Doomris prefers to buff the Wildfire for close range combat and CQC. Personally, I'm more of a long range player, so I prefer to buff my long range. There is a few changes from my last build video. The two most significant changes are, we are using the Frozen Fish and the Scout Gloves from the One Piece Bastille set. Now, the reason for this is purely the HP bonus. In PvP, HP is basically a must at this point, and when I'm properly buffed up with all of my foods and everything, I sit around 16 to 17,000 HP. This is the average when you're using the buffed canned lunch meat, and the safety sandwich and all of those good things. To basically start off with, this is the, again, the PvP Bingo Wildfire, and this is not the glass cannon. This is the Savior set, the current meta, really the best build on the game right now. I even believe that Jaws has recently caught a stealth nerf as of the 23rd of September, where it actually only staggers on every second shot now. If you're noticing that as well, I don't know, I was noticing in PvP a little bit earlier, where I wasn't getting CC chain, I was actually able to dodge out of the stagger. So anyways, without further ado, we'll jump into the build. So to start off with, I am obviously running the Bingo. Now, I actually have a 6-star Bingo, and there's something I do want to quickly mention here, is you want to work towards a 6-star blueprint. Now, I'm very close to a 6-star Bingo. I even have a whole set of Bingo frags here. I'm so damn close to maxing out my Bingo. But, as I said, you want to work towards maxing out a legendary weapon and one purple weapon. The reason for this is blueprint conversion, which is a feature that's coming soon that is going to allow you to transfer stars from one blueprint to another. For example, I could go Bullseye to Brainy. Now, this would only work in the same rarity, of course, so you couldn't take a purple to a legendary. That wouldn't really make sense, because they have different XP requirements. However, if a different sniper became meta, let's say somehow the bounce hammer became meta, it's not, but let's say it did, I could shift the stars from this AWS to this hammer. So it's very important to work towards a 6-star, and what I've actually used all of my Starcron gambling echoes from the Rifts. Obviously, you want to hit your important banners first, such as Bounty Hunter, if you're playing Bingo, which gives you the Bingo and Wildfire fragments. But once you're done with that, you need to start hitting echoes from the Rifts. It is an absolute gamble, but I've hit Bingo twice out of 40 pulls, which is a 0.5% chance. 40 pulls at a 0.5% chance twice is, I believe, somewhere around a fucking low chance. That's all I know, is it's a fucking low chance. But anyways, back into the actual build itself, we'll quickly run through everything. So, again, I've only been able to use my tier 3 Bingo because I haven't been able to find any new BIS calibration blueprints. So I've been stuck with my tier 3. Hopefully, in the faction scenario, I will get to try out my 5-star and 6-star potentially Bingo by the end of the season. I've got my Wildfire, which is using Precision Style and Double Weak Spot, and again Rapid Style on the Bingo itself. Now, the Frozen Northern Pike, this is the new best melee weapon for a couple of reasons, and I'm going to quickly show them. I don't know why I'm running so slow, there's some kind of server lag. But effectively, with the fish, when you do a heavy charge like this, you will freeze the target. That right there will CC freeze the target and quite literally give you a free opportunity to deal damage against the enemy. Now, it is very important to mention that it is very situational, but when you do use it right and you use it well, the frozen northern pike is very fucking good at ceasing enemies that don't expect it and guaranteeing you a kill. So to start off with, again, wildfire, frozen northern pike, and the bingo, rapid style, precision style, or rapid style. I know that a lot of people like running rapid style on the deagle, and that is absolutely an option as well. Me personally, I like running precision style. It is a lot more damage, and I negate the fire rate loss by using the sea bass fried fish food. But you could also, of course, go with rapid style if that suits your playstyle more and is more in line with what you want to do. Weapon blueprint on the calibration blueprint on the melee weapon doesn't really matter. Most people, you'll probably want to go with the light striker style so you get movement speed. We'll quickly jump onto the calibration. So on the bingo itself, we are running the vulnerability amplifier, which is basically just like Rend if you play New World. Extra damage on that target you've hit. It's a debuff that target gets, and hitting that target with that debuff will grant you extra damage. On that, we are running weak spot and weapon damage substats. Of course, you want to prioritize weapon damage reduction as your third, and as your fourth, probably HP. Or something along those lines. I've never really seen a 4 PvP perk roll before. It is a near impossible roll, but 3 perk is definitely possible and is much more reasonable at the least. For attachments, integrated suppressor, precision optic, and tactical SR mag. We're running the suppressor for the range. Range is a big damage increase, and at distance, and especially for something like a sniper, it just kind of makes sense. I also want to quickly mention how to stretch stickers, because I know this is something a lot of people have mentioned. So we might as well add that into this video. Fuck it, why not, right? So you're going to grab your sticker. Personally, I use the rock and roll one, which is the... I don't know what's bugged. I use the rock and roll one, which is one of the rainbow ones. What you're going to do next is make the sticker as big as possible. You're going to rotate the weapon toward or against you, like so. And then you're going to simply drag the sticker over until you notice it stretch. See how I notice it stretch? And now we got a fucking orb fade, just like that. So now you hit apply, and then you have a stretch sticker. It's that easy. You can do that with any other sticker. You know, we'll try it with this one. I don't see why not. The once human sticker. So we'll line it up properly here, and look at that. Now we have like an ice pop looking thing. Actually, it kind of looks sick, actually. Let's try something else here. That actually kind of looks... I mean, if I got rid of this and we just went with this, we could make a pretty cool looking like ice pop skin or something. But yeah, you can mess around with this. You can get a bunch of different cool styles and whatnot using stickers, which is pretty cool. On with the video. For the wildfire, we're using Hunter's perk. You could also use a vulnerability amplifier again if you want a little bit more damage. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I don't have the greatest mod for this, I actually forgot. Yeah, so I don't have the greatest Hunter's perk precision. Of course, prioritizing the weak spot and weapon damage, and then weapon damage reduction is your third. Hunter's perk effectively is a damage reduction on targets you hit. Again, it's effectively a debuff. So the target you hit is going to deal 20% less damage to you and other targets. The debuff duration is the bullseye length. So it is based on the bullseye. So as long as that player is bullseyed by your wildfire, and you have your wildfire out, I think, they will do 20% less damage to you and other metas. So it's a really good team utility perk as well. So even just one player in your team really needs to run Hunter's perk and be marking targets, and that will really benefit all of you, especially a team play, from a team play perspective. Onto the suppressor, or onto the muzzle camouflage suppressor. Again, maxing out our range for damage. You could also, if you want a little bit more accuracy, is use the tactical flash hider. This does drastically reduce the recoil, and I know some people like this. Personally, again, I prefer maxing my damage at range. That is what I build into. You're also running the compact reflex sight, the small infrared indicator, and the extended pistol mag. Again, just maxing out, obviously, our HP, or not our HP, our mag capacity. Small infrared, that is stability, so we do get a little bit of recoil control back. And obviously the legendary reflex, it gives us plus 12 stability again, which is another chunk of recoil control. On the melee weapon, I just run a blue melee amplifier. It really doesn't matter. Alright, and for the armor, which is arguably the most important part in PvP currently, is of course the 4-piece savior set. I mean, you can't really not use this in the current meta. It might shift in a day when the faction scenario 1.2 comes out, and I'll make a whole new video then, but this is a prepping for the faction scenario video. If they make any changes, I will swiftly update it, and most importantly, I will quickly reflect that in the Google spreadsheet in the description, ASAP, depending on when the changes or what the changes do. So I will effectively be recommending the Scout Gloves over the Bastille set that I previously did, purely because I want that max HP gain, right, over a little bit of damage, because if I go in here, I think I have it here, yeah. Bastille is only 10% extra weapon damage when you're above 70% HP, which is not always going to be the case. So we're taking that away for more HP, which arguably in the current meta is more important. So that is a sacrifice I've made. You could use Bastille one piece if you want to. Personally, I think the one-piece Scout is a better angle, but again, it's up to you. And again, for the rest of the armor, obviously the 4-piece Bastille, can't go wrong with that. We're running the old Hunstmen boots, which in the Wish machine are translated incorrectly and will be called the Seasoned Hunter Leather boots. So if you're trying to match the name and when you're trying to buy the blueprint, just keep an eye out for the Seasoned Leather Hunter boots or the Seasoned Hunter Leather boots, because sometimes they're mistranslated in certain areas. I think that's it. Okay, we'll jump onto the armor mods now for the PvP set. So, Precise Strike, obviously, this is a fantastic mod. I love it. I know in Doomris's build, I think he runs the fire rate one with the weapon damage, which is also a great option, especially for Wildfire. But again, I am more spec into the Bingo and maxing out the sniper damage. So I, of course, max out Weak Spot, which is my preference. So if you prefer sniping, this may be a route you prefer taking. If you prefer playing Wildfire, I do recommend checking out Doomris's version of the build. Fantastic video, and he really goes in depth over there. So again, we're prioritizing the weapon damage and Weak Spot. Of course, you want to get Legendary on both is the ideal situation. For the mask, we're running Most Wanted. Now, this is giving us effectively attack, which is just straight up damage increase. Again, of course, we're looking out for the Weak Spot and weapon damage, and the weapon damage reduction as our third, ideally. On the gloves, we're running the Weak Spot damage boost. I know that munitions is also a good option as well. In fact, I think munitions might even be better depending on the situation you're in, as it just straight up increases white damage. But as I've said again, we're maxing out our Weak Spot for the sniper. But if you're playing more exclusively Wildfire, you definitely could use Munitions Amplifier as well. I don't really have any good Munitions Amplifier rolls, so I'm not running it personally. I have really only got a good Weak Spot damage boost. But try both if you have a good Munitions Amplifier and a good Weak Spot damage boost. Again, try both, see which one you get more damage with. Don't test on a dummy, test an actual PvP. Get a mate, go to Eternaland, or get a mate, go to the edge of a GVG zone and test it yourself. I don't recommend testing on dummies. Again, we're looking for that weapon damage and weapon damage reduction as the second and third prior for suffixes. On the boots, we are running Covered Advance. This was a mod roll I got earlier today, and I'm pretty happy with it. I got back-to-back Legendary Weak Spot and weapon damage, my only mod that is actually like this, alongside purple weapon damage reduction. It's probably one of my best mods I've ever gotten, and that puts it into perspective how heavy the RNG is on the mod system. So I probably burned around 700 controllers, and this is the best mod I've got. On the chest, running Resist Advantage. Obviously getting that weapon damage reduction is very important. And again, Resist Advantage itself gives us a 10% stack of damage reduction every 5 seconds, up to 50%. And the way this works is it's 1 stack removed every hit. So if I'm out of combat for a total of, I think, 25 seconds, I'll have 50% damage reduction on the first bullet that hits me. The second bullet that hits me will be 40%. Third bullet, 30%. Second bullet, 20%. And then fifth bullet is a 10% damage reduction. Very strong mod in PvP. You also could run Healing Fortification, which does proc on Savior Set and is a fantastic option as well. I do actually have a decent-ish roll in here. Weak Spot, weapon damage reduction, and weapon damage. This is also an option you could run. Honestly, run whichever one you have better damage reduction in, but if you're running Savior Set, definitely try this one out, as it does work really well in conjunction with that set. On the pants, for the sniper build, we're running Unstoppable Precision. However, if you are running exclusively Wildfire with Bingo as more of a rare choice to use, 3 Strikes is a fantastic mod, which is the one I think Doomris also recommends, and is again a fantastic mod as well. I also think this mod is fantastic for the Doombringer build, which is later in the video. But yeah, if you want to, this is also an option. But again, Unstoppable, because we're maxing out our sniper damage, which is sort of the key of my build, or my take on the Bullseye Bingo. That is pretty much everything for the Bingo Wildfire Savior set, or the Oreo Bingo Wildfire Savior set. And then the Cradle, last but not least, Sky Operation, Long Range Enhancement, Sprint, Handgun Enhancement, Tactical Combo, Side by Side, Steady Hand, and Bounty Hunter. Side by Side you could swap out for another one such as Ammo Cascade, which effectively when you do your bash with the melee weapon will give you a movement speed increase for a little bit, which is actually really nice. But Side by Side is really good for team play. It's going to make you need to repair less, and is almost essential in wars. Wars are about to basically not be a thing anymore with the prison verse scenario, but this will also be very important in the prison verse scenario if it is in the cradle. We don't know what the new cradles are, by the way. If they're going to be the same, if there's going to be new ones in the PvP scenario. We don't actually know. I am very interested to see what kind of cradles we get. But yeah, for now, this is sort of the cradle here. Again, you can copy it here. And again, the gear I run for the... This is my main PvP set, by the way. I do want to emphasize that. This is currently what I main. I main the Bingo Wildfire Savior Scout One Piece with the Frozen Fish for the Stun CC. Now we'll quickly jump onto the Bingo PvE. For the Bingo PvE, it is very similar. I'm not gonna lie. We're swapping out the Hunter's perk for another vulnerability amplifier on the Deagle. The accessories are all the same. Calibration blueprint is also the same. Same with the sniper, and we're also running same accessories. For the fish, we are running. Oh, sorry, for the fish. For the melee weapon, we are running the fish as well, which is actually also very strong in PvE. To that, again, just same melee amplifier, doesn't really matter. The thing that's mainly changed here is a little bit interesting. So we're running 3-piece Renegade, which is fantastic for PvE. Honestly, it is one of the best PvE sets you can run, especially for weak spot builds, of course, such as the Wildfire. And then we've got the boots, obviously self-explanatory. For the pants, however, we have swapped to the Renegade gloves from the Scout gloves, and then we've put the Rustic pants on over the Savior pants. Now, the Rustic pants have 8% movement speed, and I think these are fantastic. There's also another option, though. So you could either run the Rustic pants for 8% movement speed. Keep in mind, you've got to be a lot squishier using these, but I do like running fast in PvE, and this is an option you can run. Now, I wouldn't recommend running these in PvP, by the way, over the Scout gloves, because you lose almost 700 HP, as you can see when I hover over the Scout pants or the Falcon pants here. There's quite a drastic HP decrease. But if you like moving fucking fast, this is a fantastic piece to run. But the other option you could run, if you like dodging more, is a 1-piece Falcon pants, which is a rolling stamina cost minus 20%. This is a fantastic option if you want to dodge more. So you can either pick Rustic pants, move faster, Falcon pants, dodge faster, or you could even do 1-piece Bastille and get another 10% weapon damage. Honestly, it's up to you. Or you could even run heavy duty pants actually for 10% extra HP. So for PvE, you've got a lot of options for the 1-piece set bonus. You could run Rustic pants, heavy duty pants, Bastille, or Falcon. There is even a few other ones you could run if you want a different 1-piece set bonus. These are the ones that I switch between a lot. Currently, I like running the Rustic pants and stacking that with the Ice Tea and Stardust Ratatouille. I get almost 50% movement speed, which is kind of nice to have. On the chest, obviously running the Bastille. I'm an idiot. We are running one-piece Bastille set bonus anyways, so for the second piece here, you could probably run either the heavy duty or the Falcon. You don't really need to run the other Bastille here, sorry. So 1-piece Bastille, 1-piece Rustic, heavy or Falcon, and then the 3-piece Renegade with the old Huntsman boots. On the mask, you're running the Precise Strike, obviously the same mods as PvP pretty much. The Most Wanted on the mask as well. We're running the Weak Spot Damage Boost, of course. The boots are also the same gold roll I got, almost gold roll. We're switching out Resist Advantage for a blue Weak Spot Damage Boost. Of course, maxing out Weak Spot, that is what I enjoy doing. And then on the legs, we're running Weak Spot, or, again, as I mentioned in the PvP bit, you could also run 3 Strikes Precision, that is entirely up to you. For the cradle, it is obviously quite a lot different actually. We are actually running Ammo Cascade, I forgot to mention that. So I like getting the maximum movement speed. It's a 10% 10-second movement speed buff when you do that Frozen Pike Heavy Bash. So, and I missed that. So when you do that, oh my god. And you do that and you simply get another 10% movement speed buff and you go pretty fast. We don't even have the other movement speed buffs on right now, and we are zooming, so it's a really nice option to have for, again, that movement speed. Onto the rest of the cradle though. We're running the long-range enhancement. Obviously, it's very similar in a couple aspects. Sprint, handgun, tactical combo, steady hand, bounty hunter, and obviously ammo cascade over the sky operation. Now, the one thing that is different is we have swapped the side-by-side for Lone Walker. Obviously, if you're playing solo, it is definitely a good one to run. I believe this only works on solo, actually, so if you're doing team play PvE, you could go back to side-by-side even for PvE. It is a fantastic option, especially if you're clearing the Leah Lab, something that requires a lot of ammo and takes a lot of weapon durability. This is a good one to use for that kind of scenario, where you're typically going to be in a team PvE situation. You also run a Deviation Master as well. Some people even run Master Tactician if they really want to get spicy with their DPS, but that is up to you as well. That is pretty much everything for the PvE Wildfire Bingo set. And now we'll get into the little bit more spicy section, the Doombringer builds. Now, there's a couple different versions of the Doombringer builds. There's actually 4 different versions. And, well, 2 of them are full different versions. The other 2 are very minimal changes. But we'll jump into the Doombringer. This is the PvE setup, I believe. Yep, Doombringer PvE. So, Doombringer PvE, we are running the 3-piece Renegade, 1-piece Bastille, and the old Huntsman boots, similar to the PvE setup for the Wildfire Bingo, but obviously the key change is the Doombringer itself. It is important to note that I'm using the Falcon pants in this set because with the Doombringer you're going to be dodging a lot more, and I think that was a lot more crucial than running, for example, the rustic pants. Because the thing about the Doombringer is you have to be very close to your target, and that is a very important part of this weapon. Now, there's also a very important deviation you have to run for the Doombringer. We will get onto that, and that is the Mini Wonder. I'm just going to spoil it. Because the Mini Wonder has a very cool perk. As you've seen at the clip at the start of the video, there's a very specific reason why we use the Mini Wonder. But anyways, onto the armor. 3-piece Renegade, obviously a weak spot crit damage build. It's a fantastic 3-piece set. Old Huntsman boots, obviously you want this. It is per pellet based, so half your bullets are going to crit and half your bullets are going to weak spot. So if we pull this out here and we reload, you may also notice something else when I reload here. And boom, and you can see half my pellets are critting sometimes. My damage is kind of low because I'm not buffed up, and my shit's all over the place, like in terms of, what do you call them? Armor durability, like I need to repair and shit, so I'm not dealing proper damage. But besides the point, it is a great build. I love this in PvE still, especially with this setup, especially as you may see having 5 bullets in my magazine. And that is because we have switched our mods up a little bit. Now, on the Doombringer itself, we're obviously, of course, running Vulnerability Amplifier. Obviously, damage increase on a boss, on an enemy, whatever you have not. Renegade 3-piece, and then on the head, we're running new mods. Now, for this build, we're actually mixing in crit damage. Now, in my old Doombringer video from like a few weeks ago, I actually didn't recommend crit damage. Now I've changed my mind, and that's for a very specific reason. Just generally because the Doombringer's been nerfed a lot, but also because of the way the weapon works now. Kind of doubling up on what I'm saying here, but I really recommend using crit now with Wildfire and having sort of an even ratio. So let's see what I'm at. So right now I'm currently sitting at an almost exact split. This is what I've found most comfortable for the Doombringer, and I've had the most success with. Because if you look at the Doombringer itself, its base scaling is 25% weak spot and 30% crit. So it actually evenly scales off both, and is why I recommend doing an even split between both of them. So I have 96% crit and 99% weak spot, and that is what I've had the most success with. Again, going back to the mods though, on the Renegade Hood, we are running mag expansion. This is essential. Now, the reason for this is the Doombringer's DPS relies on having big magazine, and not having that big magazine, you're going to be slowing yourself down with the incredibly slow reload speed. So it is important that we max out how much ammo we have, and by using that perk, we get 5 shots in our mag. Don't do damage tests off dummy. Don't base whether you use this build or not off that dummy test I just did. The mag expansion is basically a must, right? Like, getting that extra bullet is crucial. Now, I don't have the greatest mods for this because I just started putting this together today, and I've run out of controllers as of Phase 5 in my server. I'm heading into the faction scenario in 3 days, so that should be a lot of fun. So again, we're running crit damage and weapon damage. We're looking out for those main 2 as our substats. And again, 3rd would be our weapon damage reduction, of course. On the mask, we're running Targeted Strike. This is increased crit rate and crit damage on a marked target. Fantastic for Doombringer. obviously. I have weak spot on this, and there's a very specific substat that you need to look out for on all of your pieces. If I'm a little bit scuffed, so there's 2 pieces where I don't actually have mag capacity, and that drops me down to 5 bullets. Now, if you have a full set that is maxed out with the mag capacity, you are able to get up to 6 bullets in the Doombringer. Now, I'm only at 5, as I said. I don't have all of my mods with mag capacity because I got a little bit unlucky. But if you're a little bit more lucky than me, you want to try and get mag capacity on all of your mods. The ideal rolls you're looking for are either weak spot or crit damage, alongside weapon damage and mag capacity. Now, mag capacity is more important than weapon damage in this case, because the Doombringer's DPS relies in delaying that reload and having more active rounds. You're going to do more DPS having mag capacity over weapon damage for this specific weapon. So again, we're looking out for mag capacity on as many mods as we can get. For the gloves, we're running crit amplifier. Now, you could also try and just get a normal crit damage mod. I don't have any on me, which is also another fantastic option to go for. You don't want to use weak spot boost on this build at all, actually. So again, crit amplifier, crit rate, and crit damage, obviously a good choice. Mag capacity, weapon damage, and crit damage. I got a pretty shit roll here, grey weapon damage. Yuck. But again, I got unlucky for this build. For the boots, we're running covered advance as well. Fantastic option. For the chest, for the PVE build, crit rate, crit damage, mag capacity, blue. Really hard mod to get. I've been pretty lucky with my blue mods in the past. For my Wildfire Bingo set, I've got the spot weapon damage substat blue mod, and then I've got this blue mod for Doombringer. So I've been pretty lucky with my blue mods. Again, if you're curious on getting blue mods, you need to do Iron River chest runs if you're on a novice server. And if you're on a hard mode or easy server, or hard mode or normal server, you need to do Dayton Wetland chest runs, which is a little bit harder, but it's what you got to do to get blue mods. As for the pants, we're running 3 strikes. You're not going to obviously want to run unstoppable precision with the shotgun. That doesn't make any sense. So 3 strikes. Our first half of the mag, so our first 2 shots are going to deal 50% extra weak spot damage. The other 3 are going to be reduced. But again, if you manage to get up to 6 bullets in your magazine, we'll be able to run 3 shots at increased weak spot damage, which is what I recommend trying to target. As you can see, I don't have the greatest substats on this mod here. As I've mentioned, I've been pretty unlucky with this build so far. So that is sort of the premise of all of the mods and armor here. I don't think I showed the... I'll quickly show the accessories again, even though I showed them a few times, because if you're jumping around through timestamps, I want to make sure you understand what's going on. So for the Wildfire, we're also running the Vulnerability Amplifier, Camouflage Sup, etc, etc. And then as the... What did I forget to mention? Calibration Blueprint. You need Heavy Style. Heavy Style, double weak spot, or Heavy Style, crit damage weak spot, or Heavy Style, double crit damage is a must for the Doombringer. You need to run Heavy Style for that mag capacity. That's what really allows you to get to 6 bullets when you do it right. Now, funny enough, the Cradle is almost exactly the same as the PVE Wildfire Bingo. There's actually 2 things I need to change here. These were just the Cradle overrides, which you just swap in and out when you need them. We're going to put the, I think it was this one, back over here. This is the Cradle I run for the Doombringer. Long range enhancement, sprint, handgun enhancement, this buffs shotguns as well. The tactical combo, Lone Walker, Steady Hand, Bounty Hunter, and Ammo Cascade. Now, there is one other quick thing I want to mention, is you could swap out Wildfire for Bingo if you want to run Bingo Doombringer. Now, keep in mind, your Bingo is going to do significantly less damage while you're running the Crit Bingo Doombringer, because again, Bingo has terrible crit damage scaling. Like, if I go to it here, yeah, so crit damage 26% base compared to weak spot damage 95% base. So keep in mind, you're running Bingo as an offhand with Doombringer, you're going to be doing a lot less damage. So for the PvP setup, very similar to the, of course, the Bingo Wildfire PvP setup. Same armor, same concepts. 4-piece savior set, scout gloves for the HP bonus, and then the old Huntsman boots, of course. For the mods, we're running the same as the PVE Doombringer. Mag expansion for the extra bullets, crit damage, and weapon damage. Alongside weapon damage reduction are the 3 substats we are trying to prioritize. The targeted strike precision on the mask, same as the PVE Doombringer. Crit amplifier, same as on gloves. Covered advance, same as, looking out for mag capacity as well. On the top, however, we are running resist advantage, which is same as the Bingo Wildfire PvP setup. Last but not least, on the pants, 3 strikes, of course. You're not running Unstoppable Precision on a shotgun build. That wouldn't really make sense. Same mods on the weapons, same calibrations as the PvE set, heavy style, precision style. Frozen Fish, obviously, that is going to allow us to stunlock CC players when we use it right. And then the Cradle is the long-range enhancement. I don't know why the Cradle didn't change. Oh, no, that's not right. Wait. Sprints and Sky Operation. Why is the PvP set... Okay, for some reason my PvP set has a PvE Cradle. That's my fault, gang. So, long-range enhancement, sprint, handgun enhancement, tactical combo, side-by-side, steady hand, bounty hunter, and Sky Operation. Also, I don't know why I have long-range enhancement on. You don't need this on, actually. You could put... probably Ammo Cascade here. And that would be a good cradle for the Doombringer PvP set. Now, I do want to quickly, again, mention this build is not the greatest for PvP. It requires you to get very close, and that is sort of its biggest letdown compared to Bingo, where you have the range advantage and the damage advantage. I mean, you know, if you do it right, if you play it right with Mini Wonder, you can get a lot of, you know, frags with it if you do it right. But any more than like one player and you're kinda gonna be a bit scuffed, especially because of the reload speed. Now, as I usually do, I forgot to record the consumables part of the video, which is very typical of me. So we're just going to go quickly cover the consumables and actually where to get the mods. So the consumables I usually run in PvP for the bullseye builds themselves is the canned lunch meat with deer meat, canned lunch meat with rabbit meat. This gives you 65% extra stam. Really easy to make as well, especially if you've got lethal rabbits doing your farming for you. Next to that is iced tea, also extremely easy to make. Iced tea and like any herb, you're basically chilling, you'll have heaps of this. And then last but not least, if I'm doing PvE, I usually use assorted canned fruit if I'm on a budget. I'm feeling good and my farm is doing well with the mutated cabbages. Why do I call mutated cabbages? Deviated cabbages. Then I'll splurge on some Stardust Ratatouille. That's the quick thing about consumables. Deviations. Obviously with the Doombringer, you're running a Mini Wonder, as I mentioned. It is going to refill a bullet every time you eat a bullet, so it is extremely OP, as you saw at the start of the video. If you eat a bullet, you will effectively get a bullet in your magazine from your reserves. Casual PvE, obviously gel. What else have we got? You've got, I don't know where it is, Shadowhound. I don't have it here for some reason. Shadowhound, really good for PvE in general. Same with the Butterfly. Butterfly is also really fun to use. Now, last but not least, I will quickly cover where to get things. So, if you're looking for Vulnerability Amplifier, Hunter's Perk, or the weapon mods, you're going to be doing the Mirage Monolith, which is the Spider Boss, on Hard and Pro mode, and again, that will drop your Bullseye weapon mods. If you're looking for your, your mask mods, you're doing EX1, which is located here, just above the south teleporter of Chalk Peak. The icon isn't showing for some reason, I think it's bugged. For the head mods, you will be doing Hard and Pro mode on Silo Alpha. Silo Sigma, which is just above the Gaiacliff Monolith, will give you your glove mods on Hard and Pro mode. And then, where is it? It's somewhere here. You've got PHI, this is your Hard and Pro boot mods. Theta, up the very top here. You've got your chest mods, Hard and Pro. What else have we got? Where's the last one? PSI. PSI is your leg mods, Hard and Pro. And Forsaken Monolith, I'll give an honorable mention here. Forsaken Monolith and both Leah Lambs will drop your Life Force boosts if you want to use those. Only 2 places to get those. And chest runs in the northern regions of the map, Red Sands and Blackheart. And I guess an additional point of reference is if you're on a normal server or a hard mode server, the only way to get blue mods is Dayton Wetlands chest runs. So you've got like, I don't know, maybe 4 POIs here that you can loot in Dayton Wetlands to get a chance at blue mods. It's pretty scuffed. However, if you are on a novice season, you can get blue mods from this whole area. From Broken Delta, Dayton Wetlands, and Iron River. So it's a little bit better if you're on a novice season. It's actually easier to get mods on novice, believe it or not. which is kind of funny. Same with calibrations, because you don't have to deal with fucking frugal style. But anyways, that is, I think, everything, actually, this time. I will see you guys in the next video, because I think that's everything I needed to cover. And yeah, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. And again, I will also be updating the spreadsheets with all the updated information, of course. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video, which should be Faction PvP. Should be a lot of fun. Peace.